Well, we appreciate you, Kevin Kruger. How you doing?
Doing well. How you guys doing?
Doing good. Thanks for joining us. You have the easiest trip down here, being just in town. Is it a nice feeling though to kind of see some of the other coaches and media and kind of unofficially kick off the season here?
It is. It's great to see. I mean, all the coaches, the new coaches even, have been incredibly fun to get to know. Richard Pitino, I consider a very good friend. Tim Miles, a very good friend. Coach Dutcher, all those guys. When I was getting into coaching 10 or so years ago, 12 years ago, I could reach out and have conversations. They would point me in the right direction. They were great then. It'll never be forgotten. And but it's really good to see this group of guys.
So just to prove it, Coach, it does say in the story that I wrote, finished in 4th place.
No, you were right.
The person that typed in the 6 up there that I read, I said I'm reading. Usually I'm cheating.
Fire them.
I'm reading my notes because I wrote this, but I apologize for that. But you went 10-2 to end the regular season. You were one of the hottest teams in the league. I mean, how do you sustain that momentum going into this year?
I think the retention of the roster is bringing those guys back and having that understanding and that feeling of how the season went. I mean, we covered every emotion possible. We had different lineups, finding out guys were eligible right before tip-off. We had mixing and matching and winning some games that we weren't supposed to win, losing some games we weren't supposed to lose. So to put it together at the end and kind of finish that way, I thought the guys really deserved it because they had been through a lot and figured things out. And it kind of enabled us to have a really fun finish.
And no better guy to build around probably than Dedan Thomas Jr.
Yeah, I mean, to have the point guard come back is a huge, I think, step in any program. But to have a point guard that is, of course, with all the extras that he has in terms of being from here, being a legacy and being a freshman of the year, and to come back and kind of lead, the team in his second year was huge for the program.
I got to ask you, Rob Whaley Jr., I mean, before you guys played Boise, he called it a revenge game, and a lot of fans in Boise were kind of confused or had some fun with that. I mean, he obviously had a huge game, and whatever fires him up, you guys won the game. It was great, but, I mean, Boise State won in him, right? Like, was it really a revenge game, or do you know why he was so fired up to play against Boise State?
I really don't. I just remember from kind of being a player, it's really not hard to find an edge. So, it could have been a tweet. It could have been such and such said something about this and this, and it got back to him. And through the game of telephone, it wasn't said exactly in the context it should have been, for all I know. But I do know that, it was, I think, down to those two schools. So when he kind of, whichever direction he was going to go, I think the other team was going to feel him a little bit.
Well, he ended up being a heck of a player for you. Where's his growth? Where can he be better this year too?
I think he did a good job for us last year and playing multiple positions. And I think he's going to have to do that this year for us as well. Played some at the 5 spot guarding, the big guys like Ledee and Stanley and Dagenhart in Boise, but also playing on a little bit on the perimeter in Wyoming, for example, guarding some of their guards. And so his versatility gives us something that I think we're going to have to capitalize on.
Being an outlet that covers Boise State, to get a lot of people in the chat wanted to ask you about Jace Whiting. How's he fitting in? What do you see Jace Whiting's role as being? I think some fans were maybe a little surprised when they saw that he was going to UNLV in terms of staying in the league. What's his outlook there?
Jace has had a great summer and a great fall, and he's going to be a very good piece on this team. And I think he'll have some opportunities, of course, to play a backup DJ, but also to play with him. I think the way he takes care of the ball and then shoots free throws, it always gives us another added weapon if we're in a late game situation or a situation where we need to protect the ball. And hopefully we can figure out some sort of rotation where they're both out there together, but also utilizing what he does well.
I know you got some new guys you're excited about, but some other returners. I know Jalen Hill back healthy, and Isaiah Cottrell, and some of these guys, who are a guy or two, and maybe those are the two, but that really could be kind of swing guys for you to go from a good team to maybe a great team. Yeah,
I think Jalen, of course, just coming off the injury. He was a great college basketball player coming into UNLV, so he would have been great for us last year. So he's going to have a great year. Brooklyn Hicks, in terms of returners, I think is somebody that it could be fairly expected to have a little bit bigger role in a sophomore year. Again, going back to retention, right? It's just the comfortability, some understanding, and so he's had a great summer and a great fall. But you really could go down the list. But I like our bigs as well, but the guards group I thought had a really good fall and a really good summer.
I was reading one of John Rothstein's tweets, and he was hyping up Bear Cherry. Tell us about 6'11", 280 coming from New Mexico Junior College, 12.6 points, 5.8 rebounds last year. But I know you got a couple big guys, whether it be with Isaiah and then I'm sorry if I mispronounced his name, but tell us about Bear though.
Yeah, Bear coming from New Mexico Junior College, played for a great coach in Luke McKay over there, great program, and I think he was kind of ready for college and ready for Division I, coming from junior college, which of course can be a transition for a lot of guys. But he's done an unbelievable job working, getting quicker, getting his body more ready, I think, for the Division I game, and he's had a great summer, great fall, and Pop as well, coming from high school locally in Vegas. Seems to keep growing. Arms keep getting longer, and he keeps getting more mobile. So he's got an unbelievable ceiling. But at the same time, he's a freshman, and he's going to have to work really hard for minutes and work really hard to have a role. But he's somebody that could also have a big impact on the year.
You guys picked 5th in the preseason poll. You get 2 first-place votes. What do you make of the league this year?
A shout out to a thank you to whoever gave us 2 first-place votes, I guess. But I think the league is, we talk. It's almost like we could probably press play from the same conversation we had last year. It's an incredible league. We don't get as much maybe coverage or attention maybe east of the Mississippi as we possibly should be, or should get. But I also think that there's probably as many exciting questions about the league as there's ever been, because it's been a very old league, and I think we've had a lot of great returners for the last handful of years. But I mean, when you talk about arguably the best player in conference history with Isaiah Stevens, it's going to be the first time we don't see him in Colorado. It's going to be a weird feeling not seeing him out there. Of course, Ladie leaving. We had the Boone twins leave. I mean, there was just so many older guys that I think kind of exhausted their eligibility. So there's a lot of excitement, I think, around the league.
And this is your 4th year, I think. So maybe you haven't
4.
seen these guys, maybe the 5-6 years, but a Max Rice being gone as well. I mean, there's just some guys that have been staples of some of these programs, and it's a new wave. But Tyson Degenhart, one of those guys, he's 4th year, your 4th year. He's been here every year. But what do you make of Boise State's team?
They're going to do what they're going to do. They're going to be really good. Obviously Tyson leading it, Omar, great players, versatile. I mean, I think that's what, when you watch Boise, makes them so good. They're just versatile. They protect the ball, shoot it well. They're in sync defensively. But anytime you're going into in October, I think with a guy like Tyson, I know Coach Rice is pretty excited about that.
There was a lot of thought when the whole Pac-12 thing came about that UNLV was going to be included in that. I was, selfishly, for a guy that enjoys work trips to Vegas, was hoping, but I thought it made a lot of sense. And I don't know how much you're willing to get into it, whatever. But what do you make of the decision by the school to stay in the Mountain West?
Yeah, I think oddly enough, this is probably the first thought I've given it since the news broke, whenever that was. It's just we've been fortunate to just be in a gym and kind of not have to worry about that too much. But I thought President Whitfield and the athletic department did, in my opinion, again from 30,000 feet, I thought they did what we needed to do. Everybody knows this conference stuff is going to shake up again in 2, 3 years, 4 years, or whatever. But the next step that we needed to take at UNLV, this seemed like the most secure and the most sure step. It gives us some good financial news and opportunity, but also at the same time stays in a competitive league and continues the tradition of the Mountain West. But honestly, it'd be great if the higher ups that knew what was going to happen in 5 years would just all get in a room and say, this is the way it's going to be. Let's just go ahead and do this now. But it makes for some exciting summers. And but at the end of the day, I think, like I said, President Whitfield, the department did a good job of doing what was best and what they felt was best for UNLV.
I guess final thing, just building off last year, as we said, and kind of finishing where we started for you, just the excitement level for this team and this season, and as you continue to kind of build this thing to where you want to get it to. I mean, it's obviously going in the right direction. Do you feel like this is hopefully the year you guys can kind of push through?
Yeah, I think so. I love where we're at for today. We've had a good summer, good fall, but at the same time, I think the way we finished last year and being able to look back and say, guys, you could make the argument that this night, kind of kept us out of the tournament. Or if you want to go one more night, these 2 games really go a different way. We play better. We end up in the NCAA tournament. And so having that experience and finishing on a high note and finishing with a good run to finish the regular season, I think it also kind of gives the guys just a little bit of a feeling of what needs to be done to go forward.
Is the word Southern kind of blocked from your vocabulary or memory, I guess?
Honestly, I mean, those first handful of weeks, I mean, we were just trying to find out which way was up.
Coach, we appreciate your time. Best of luck with everything moving forward, and we'll see you for 2 games against Boise State this year.
All right, thank you.
There he is.
Good to see
Appreciate
you.
it. There he is, Kevin Kruger. Appreciate him. The UNLV Rebels finished 4th in the Mountain West last season, and they're going to look to build on that this year moving forward. We appreciate Kevin Kruger for joining the show. I think we're going to get a couple of his players hopefully joining us as well. Colin, maybe just grab the camera first, and they can then we can get the camera set up for them for the 2 shot here. And we're going to have Dedan Thomas Jr., Rob Whaley joining us, and looking forward to chatting with them as we talk UNLV Running Rebels basketball for a few more minutes. And then again, coming up after that, we'll have Utah State, we'll have Wyoming, and then the commissioner of the Mountain West in about 40 minutes. Do not miss Gloria Navarez live here on Bronco Nation News. Hope you're enjoying the coverage. Hope you're liking things so far. And again, please support the sponsors. Subscribe if you can. We'd love to have you. Come on in, guys. Turn on the other mic here. Again, talking UNLV basketball. Appreciate Rob Whaley Jr. And obviously everybody knows Dedan Thomas Jr. down here on the end. How you guys doing?
Good. How are you?
We're doing great. Appreciate you guys for joining us. Shortest trip for you guys being here, obviously in Vegas. Last year, I think you finished the regular season 10-2. Just how do you guys keep that momentum and keep building off what you did to finish last season?
You got it.
Just build off of what we did last year. Just keep that intensity we had going into the end of the season. Carried on into this year, and just keep getting better as a team.
What do you think, Rob, about building off last year?
Just we valued ourselves last year as being kind of dogs last year towards that conference tournament and stuff. So we just kind of just keeping that going and keeping just being physical and keep playing hard.
What for you and staying at UNLV, and obviously Dedan, you're probably a lot of chances in the transfer portal to maybe leave, stay. Like that's a big deal for you to stay. I mean, there was reports you were leaving, all kinds of crazy stuff going on. But for you, what was it about UNLV and wanting to stay here right now?
Honestly, I had no thoughts of leaving, no intent of leaving. I just didn't feel like I needed to go anywhere else to succeed. I just felt like this was the perfect fit for me and for me to succeed and reach my goals. So. Yeah.
Rob, having a guy like him back to lead your team, how big is that?
It's huge. I mean, I talk to me and DJ talk all the time. I knew there was never a doubt he was going to leave, and having him was always great, just because what he does on the floor. And I mean, you see it firsthand. He's a pro. I mean, that's a simple way to put it.
Where do you see your game, kind of getting adjusted to the Mountain West in this level, year 2 for you here? Where do you see your game kind of going to the next level?
I mean, definitely expanding it in multiple ways and just kind of stretching the floor as I can, being a better passer out the post, being a vocal leader, being a better leader, doing things like that, just doing what I do to win games.
I got to ask you, we covered Boise State, and I know it was a big talking point, the revenge game thing you said before you played them. You obviously went out and had a heck of a game, and you beat them, and so it was great. But can you maybe, for Boise State fans, explain a little bit the reasoning for the comment there?
It was kind of more of I don't know if you've seen the thing with Shaq where he played David Robinson, and he was like, he kind of made that thing like he didn't sign his jersey like when he was a kid, and he kind of like psyched himself out to kind of get himself ready for that. It was kind of a thing like that. It wasn't really like much of like a revenge game in a sense. I mean, I have all love and respect for Boise State because, I got nothing but love up there.
Because they wanted you, right? They wanted you. Did it come down to those 2 schools?
Yeah, definitely. It was definitely a hard choice.
Okay.
Those 2.
And so was that, I guess, weird at all, when you did go up against them then the first time? Or
no, it definitely wasn't weird. I mean, meeting all those guys and kind of being with those guys, I'm friends with a lot of those guys, so it wasn't weird at all.
Being at CSI and stuff, just the Idaho connection, I guess, there, when and that was, I assume, why they were involved, I guess, or one of your finalists, just the connection there. Coaching staff somehow knew somebody down there, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, their coach definitely knew my assistant coach when I was at CSI, but I mean, at the time, I loved everything about the school, but just UNLV was just definitely, I just felt was the better fit for me.
Yeah, and how has that played out? I assume you're happy and everything's working good. I mean, what's it been like at UNLV?
It's been great. I mean, I had a little rough start, and I mean, deservedly so. I mean, I wasn't doing exactly what I do, and I couldn't find really my role yet. And once I really found my role, it was just kind of sky the limit after that. Just kept going with it and pushing it and just going forward.
You're getting some shout outs in the chat from people from Twin Falls watching, wishing you the best of luck here moving forward. Said it was awesome to watch you at CSI. Best of luck. In terms of this team, and as I mentioned, just this league, I mean, there's never an off night in this league. I mean, trying to win games in this league is never easy. What's it like in this league going on the road to some of the places you guys got to go to?
For me, honestly, I like to play on the road because just having that like atmosphere and opposing fans booing you and just like talking all that mess and stuff and just like and then beating them on the road is just like a great feeling. But yeah, just going on the road in the Mountain West is definitely not an easy task. So every night we just gotta bring it and just give it our all and stick to the game plan, and we'll come out with a win.
You get any disrespect being picked fifth, or what do you think about being picked fifth in the preseason here?
It's definitely a little disrespectful for sure, but you just use that. My dad always tells you, just put that in the bag. And just put that in the bag and just use it as fuel. And just keep going and keep going.
Just motivation.
Just motivation.
Who's a guy, whether it be a transfer, whether it be a young guy, who's a guy or two that fans right now don't know about around the Mountain West, but when it comes time for conference play in this season, they're going to know a whole heck of a lot about?
Definitely Bear Cherry. Came from the JUCO, 6'11". What does he weigh? Like
280.
280. Just
big guy.
Big dude. He's definitely going to surprise a lot of people this year. I'll say that. So
I heard he's hitting threes and stuff, or what kind of player is he?
Just a big monster down low. He rebounds. He's physical. Great teammate. Just a winner. Can score in the post whenever he wants. Just finishes around the basket and just a big tough guy.
Give us a thought on Jace Whiting too, coming over from Boise State. A lot of fans know him. How's he fitting in?
He's fitting in really good. He's definitely going to bring a lot off the bench for us. And he's always going to make the right choice and decision with the ball. Never does anything out of his box. And then he just plays with confidence and just always makes the right play.
Well, we appreciate you guys jumping on. Best of luck this season. Stay healthy. Have a great year, and we'll see you when you match up against Boise State.
Yep. Thank you.
Thanks, Rob. Appreciate it. Mr. Thomas Jr., thank you so much.